Am I the only one that didn't know about the Enfield poltergeist? This story has all the elements of a classic horror tale, yet it's rooted in real-life events that have baffled experts and terrified many. Buckle up, because this story is stranger than fiction. It's a tale that has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and even movies. But what really happened in that unassuming house in Enfield? It was the late 1950s in Enfield, England. A quaint, quiet town where nothing much ever happened. The kind of place where everyone knew everyone else and life moved at a leisurely pace. A single mother, Peggy Hodgson, and her 4 children were living a quiet life until they weren't. Peggy was doing her best to raise her children in a loving and stable environment, despite the challenges of being a single parent. It started small, furniture shifting on its own, strange knocking sounds echoing through the walls, objects flying. At first, Peggy thought it was just the kids playing pranks, but the occurrences became too frequent and too bizarre to ignore. But, like a storm, it escalated. The disturbances grew more violent and more terrifying. It wasn't just the furniture moving anymore, it was the feeling of an unseen presence lurking in the shadows. Soon, Peggy's daughter Janet began hearing voices, feeling icy touches in the dead of night. Janet, who was just 11 years old at the time, became the focal point of the activity. She would wake up screaming, claiming that something was trying to communicate with her. Imagine the terror when neighbors and even the police witnessed these events. The Hodgson family wasn't alone in their ordeal. Neighbors reported seeing objects flying through the air and hearing disembodied voices. The local police were called in, and even they couldn't explain what they saw. A policewoman saw a chair move across the floor. No strings, no tricks, just pure, unadulterated fear. She later stated in her report that she had no explanation for what she had witnessed, and that it was unlike anything she had ever seen in her career. Paranormal investigators were called in, and what they found was beyond belief. The case attracted the attention of Maurice Grosse and Guy Leon Playfair, 2 prominent paranormal researchers. They spent months documenting the phenomena, capturing audio and visual evidence that defied logical explanation. They captured audio recordings of Janet speaking in a voice that wasn't her own, deep, gruff, and menacing. This voice claimed to be the spirit of a man named Bill Wilkins, who had died in the house years before. The recordings were analyzed by experts who confirmed that the voice could not have been produced by an 11-year-old girl. The voice claimed to be the spirit of a man who had died in the house. Bill Wilkins had reportedly died of a hemorrhage while sitting in a chair in the living room. The details provided by the voice were later confirmed by Wilkins' son, adding a chilling layer of credibility to the claims. For nearly 2 years, the Hodgson family and investigators lived in a nightmare of unexplainable events. The activity was relentless, with new phenomena occurring almost daily. The family was at their wits' end, and the investigators were equally baffled. Some claim it was all an elaborate hoax, a cry for attention. Skeptics argue that the events were either exaggerated or fabricated entirely. They point to inconsistencies in the testimonies and suggest that the family, particularly Janet, may have been seeking fame or sympathy. But others are convinced to this day that something truly otherworldly haunted that house. Believers argue that the sheer volume of evidence and the number of credible witnesses make it impossible to dismiss the case as a mere hoax. They believe that the Enfield poltergeist was a genuine paranormal event, one of the most well documented in history. So, what do you think? The Enfield poltergeist remains one of the most debated cases in the annals of paranormal research. It has left a lasting impact on those who experienced it and continues to intrigue and terrify people around the world. Was it a clever ruse, or did the Enfield poltergeist really exist? The truth may never be known, but the story serves as a haunting reminder of the mysteries that still elude our understanding. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button if you love a good ghost story. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the tale of the Enfield poltergeist is sure to send shivers down your spine.